o'clock. Call this meeting to order. Start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Mary.
Commissioner Wilkinson?
Here.
Commissioner Justardens?
Here.
Commissioner Byrd?
Here.
Commissioner Prunick?
Here.
Mayor Barry?
Here. All right, can I amend the agenda now, or request to amend the agenda, or do I wait?
You're the boss.
Okay, I'm gonna request to amend the agenda, to add, item, A1, I'm gonna put this up at the top if you don't mind. We're gonna excuse Bryce, he has to leave by 6:20.
Okay.
So what I would like to do is add the City of Munising employment agreement to A1 to discuss Michelle Harrison's upcoming agreement.
I move we amend the agenda to include item A1, the prospective city manager's employment agreement. Support.
It's been moved by Commissioner Justardens, supported by Commissioner Wilkinson to amend the agenda to item A1 to discuss the new city manager's agreement. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That's carried. Okay. Item B, public comment. Okay, hearing none. Let's move on. Item C, consent agenda. Any questions or concerns? Need anything discussed? Hearing none, I'd like to entertain a motion.
Make the motion that we accept the consent agenda as presented.
I'll support. It's been moved by Commissioner Byrd, supported by Commissioner Prunick to approve the consent agenda as presented. Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. All right. New business, item A1, Michelle Harrison's amended or revised employment agreement. The Labor Committee discussed yesterday, and I did contact Michelle. She is still wrapping up her project in Alaska. Just a side note, what she's doing is she's implementing grant funding to bring water to a village in Alaska that's never had running water. And so, commend her for that. Unfortunately, it's taken a little more time than she anticipated. So we discussed it and are recommending to move her start date to December 15th, and also to reduce vacation time at this time from 15 days down to 10.
Are those two tied together?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's just for this year,
It's
Okay.
yeah, because her new vacation time will begin with the fiscal year of July 1. And that is all outlined in here. So if the commission is agreeable upon that, Ray will send out the new agreement to her ASAP, so we can get it back, and then her first day would be December 15th. And we're gonna throw her right into the fire, and that will be her first commission meeting as well.
This will be our last request, I assume,
Yep,
from her?
I told her this was hard and fast.
It will be the last request for a delay that I will call.
Mhm. Nope, there is no more delays.
I would also ask that, I found out that she wasn't going to be here, or going to be start date for Rod. Why weren't the whole commission,
Because we just
Informed.
met on Tuesday as a labor committee,
okay?
and so we were bringing the recommendation to you. That's why we have a labor committee, Bob.
I understand,
But
but,
Rod's not on the labor today.
No, it's
no,
not.
I'm not on the,
And I'm
No,
not
but I did go to Christmas dinner with Jordan.
yeah, I don't have to have a relative on the board, but I think it would be nice if, we should have been informed, to be honest with you.
Then why have a labor committee, we bring it forward to?
Because you decided, the labor committee decided that you're gonna, the start date and everything else, but it would have been nice if we'd have been informed, we could have thought about it until, I mean, I wouldn't have known had I not talked to Rod.
And
I would've just come here tonight and gone, oh, but
Isn't it why we're here today? Isn't this why this is in front of us today? To go over it and agree with it, or agree upon it?
Mhm.
Am I not correct on that?
Well, I think what's difficult here is that the first time I saw this document was when I walked in 5 minutes ago. And I respect that the labor committee did its job. I also respect that our packets were sent out before this. So like, that's the reason why I have to amend the agenda. Emails, something from the clerk, I mean, there might be a policy that we adapt or adopt later on that might address this. I get the frustration because a year into this, I still feel like I'm blindsided every meeting that I walk in. So, while I respect this, I think this is a policy thing for future, not necessarily this one thing, and we should discuss it maybe at another time that's separate from this action item.
Okay,
May I?
no, one second. Historically, whenever I've been a part of a commission or a group of, a school board, did the work on the committee level, then you bring it up to the commission. The time was of the essence on this one. And so this all happened yesterday, got a hold of her later in the afternoon, and that's why it's here. And now, I apologize if, the day got away and you didn't get informed, but it just, I guess, I just don't have any other answer for you, other than that, to me, is procedure.
well, I think the first time it was pushed back, that's fine, I don't have a problem with that. But now we're getting to the point now, this is it. So I just think it would have been courtesy to let us know
Okay,
and say, okay, we're gonna put it on for discussion on, so.
go ahead, Brad.
In defense of the conversation that Jordan and I had, we did have Christmas dinner together, and he mentioned that she had requested an extension, and that's where the conversation ended. Because we can get into a very slippery slope towards violating the Open Meetings Act by round robining emails to each other. And when, remember what we were talking about when I told you, Bob?
We're talking about to a welcoming
Oh,
get together.
And the reason I mentioned it to Bob, because he emailed me and asked me when we were gonna hold the business after hours. And I told him, well, that would depend upon when she starts.
If she starts.
Yeah. Anyway, I am of the opinion that we've been waiting a long time for her to start, and I am questioning her commitment to the city of Munising.
Yeah.
Actually, after we were done meeting yesterday, I called her and got her voicemail, and then she texted and asked, did you guys meet today, or, well, not like that, but, asked if we had met and what the outcome was. Clearly, she hadn't gotten my voicemail, so I texted her back, I said, you must not have any reception, but do you have texting abilities? And she did, so then, that's when I texted her what we had recommended. And she thanked me and said, yes, go for that, I will, she'll be here on the 15th. I agree, I'm mixed a little bit because of her commitment to projects, or to, that she is committed to the project that she's working on and wants to see it through. But now, that has to be on the back burner, and this has to be the commitment and the priority. And the 15th is hard and fast.
Do you have her email?
It's a text.
Okay, but I mean, does she have email that we can
She does.
communicate with her?
Mhm.
Can
She
I
does.
get her email address so I can see if she is available before Christmas for a business after hours?
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
yeah. But I don't have it. Ray, you have it?
I can get it.
I'm pretty sure.
Please.
So apologies on the communication. I did what I thought was the right rails. And I don't know how much it really would have changed the outcome, honestly.
I don't think we're changing it at all, I just thought it was courtesy to let us know.
And noted. Any questions on the contract?
No.
What happens if she doesn't show up?
We start all over again.
Then then she's done.
All right, no, I want to just hear it out loud in the meeting from both.
No,
She
yeah.
has, We definitely
That's
talked
it.
about that. yeah.
That's what was in the text. This is the last,
Exactly what you think it would be.
I gotta put it.
And thank you to the Labor Committee for making
I
that
don't
clear.
think she's got a show.
what's that?
I'm sorry, I was mumbling to myself.
Given the circumstances, I would make the motion that we accept the contract as presented from the Labor Committee.
Or,
Okay, it's been moved by Commissioner Birch, supported by Commissioner Justardens to accept the revised employment contract for Michelle Harrison as presented. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, item 1, non-motorized transportation plan. I don't know, Kevin or Ray, who would like to?
Yeah, hello everyone, I think I've met all of you at one time or another, Kevin Trevilian with Coleman Engineering Company. We have been working through this process of updating the city's non-motorized transportation plan for some time. And have come to this November version, based on the different planning and meetings that we had held with the stakeholders. So there has been communication from MDOT and the Act 51 folks. I'm not gonna speak to that specifically because I don't know enough about it, frankly. But it is becoming now critical that we finish our planning process and non-motorized transportation plan. So just prior to deer season, I was able to get through this and set it for Ray to distribute. I'm happy to take any comments here tonight. I understand that maybe some of the bike path related items are already needing to be updated, which is a positive thing, it's a good thing.
yeah,
These non-motorized transportation plans are living documents. So it's to everybody's credit and a net positive if 6 months from now something in here isn't right. But at some point, hopefully we can incorporate any additional comments, maybe come back one more time, do whatever steps are necessary, whatever the commission feels is the right thing to do to get to that finish line.
Well, and as I was talking to you, I did contact Rhonda Lossela, who's the president of the MBTN, Mountain Bike Club here in town. And I can forward you her email.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Because, yeah, a couple of the things in the Rock Solid plan that is part of the, one of the appendices of the non-motorized plan. There's been a few of the trails that were recommendations in that plan that have been completed and, or are already work in progress. And then she also, in her email, was looking at some of the city property, just kind of not questioning, but seeing, wanting clarification if the boundary lines were accurate.
yeah, that looked kind of strange to me too, Kevin, that map.
Okay.
So I will forward her email on to you so you can, look at those things. But otherwise, I mean, at first glance,
I had a couple items. Kevin, page 12, the list of projects, are these in any order of priority from your perspective?
No, they're not. They kind of follow just the narrative in the text of the document.
You got a couple $1 million we can use?
I told you
Well,
that,
if we talked for a little while longer, we could probably double that.
You know,
again.
some of this might be a flap grant, some of this might be Safe Route to School, some of this might be state or federal, other state or federal grants.
Yep.
And there's no general timeline over any of it. And the other question I got, we just acquired 350 acres,
it is in there.
and it's just mentioned.
Just mentioned,
Yeah.
yep.
And that use plan will be separate and dedicated. but it'll have to be incorporated into the non-motorized use plan.
Yeah, and my suggestion for that, each time we do this, we don't need to reinvent the wheel, we didn't this time even. Some things are gonna carry over, and the plan could be amended, once there's a use plan for that large parcel, it would take one motion from this group, and it could just be included then, attached to it, moving forward, and that's the main idea for this, is if opportunities come up, those you mentioned and some others, MDOT TAP, other foundations, all of the monies probably that your local bike groups are piling into, there's a lot of opportunities out there, plans like this help you obtain those funds, so.
Are you familiar with the land acquisition over here?
Only on the very surface level.
Okay, it's big.
Yeah, it's a
chunk.
big chunk.
Yeah,
Yep.
and we anticipate, at least as far as our acquisition agreement, in multi-use, not just non-motorized, but motorized possibly as well.
Sure. Yep.
That's gonna be a big project in itself.
Yeah, that's gonna be a nice thing for the city.
Have you identified the amount of in-town deteriorating sidewalks and the cut curbs for ADA compliance? I don't see anything in this that has anything for
Yeah.
the city. It's all tourist-based or whatever.
Yeah, so, that's a great question. We've inventoried a lot of that, with this process, and the Safe Routes to School program that's ongoing. You'll notice, a verifiable lack of Safe Routes to School information in our plan now. And that's because we've kind of taken a step back on that one. So, I think there's a broad statement in here about updating ramps to current standards. There's one specific project along M28, that's a sidewalk project in the city limits.
I'm not talking about M28, I'm talking about maybe Elm Street or Hickory or Spruce.
The west end.
There's, and even on the east end, there's sidewalks that are not passable. And we do have people that walk dogs and they're walking in the street, we're concerned about safe routes to school. I guess we're forgetting about everybody else that lives in town. And there's people in wheelchairs that can't get up and down the curbs. So, and they can't go on sidewalks because they're a mess. So, my thought is before we do a lot of, taking a trail from someplace and going out to Tourist Park, I would think that we should really consider doing stuff for the taxpayers in the city first.
Yeah, if there were particular blocks that you'd want identified specifically in this plan, we could certainly do that. I have general planning level cost estimates for sidewalk and ramp replacement on any given length of city street. We could add a line item or a project. I might suggest it's more broad. City, street, sidewalk and ramp replacement, maybe that simple. And include it in there with a baseline, planning level estimate cost. That's certainly a doable thing.
Yeah, because this is great, there's some really good stuff in there, I love it. But it doesn't address, John Doe lives on, 123 Back Street.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question? Do you mind if I jump in first, just for the height thing?
Go ahead.
All right. So with that, one thing that I liked about the changes here, because most of the changes or comments that I brought up were already addressed from the email that I wrote. So thank you for that.
Yep.
Also, I like the change of the tone. The tone of the first draft was tourism, marketing, and now this actually reads like a proper government document that matters for what we're doing. That is key for us when trying to balance the tourism and everything else. So thank you for that. However, There's one private business that is mentioned, that is Picture Docs Cruises. There's no other private groups. There's very little public groups because the section that talks about public involvement and how they were talked to is completely removed from this draft. How does that impact everything else with this and possibilities of getting more grants or working with other people?
So interpreting that to mean we probably shouldn't mention any businesses. Is that?
I don't care if we mention multiple ones. And the way that, honestly, with the layout, it kind of made sense because it more of a, like as a caption, like if you were to italicize it, put it underneath the photo,
Yeah.
like you might have gotten away with it that way. Or if there was more, like if we were talking about paths, how most of the town cannot legally walk to the grocery store. Like that's a big one.
Sure.
You know, like the west end of town, like it's difficult in Brown's edition when you're dealing with parking and tourism-related businesses there impacting homeowners or parks. Like those things make sense if they're directly related as potential workers. But to just have one that kind of is more of a caption is weird.
Okay.
And then also, like, I mean, you know, we were talking about people in wheelchairs. Like, we had the drop-in center mentioned before when we were talking about public, you know, involvement in that section. And now with that section gone, we lose some of those other groups. And so it'd be nice to see that kind of restored, just so that way we could tap into those connections and relationships a little bit better in the future.
Yeah, no, great comment.
Okay, I gotta go. I'll see you guys later.
Go ahead, Rick.
Kevin, do you remember when, in the past, when we went through and, of course, we did our PASER ratings for our streets, but we also did use the PASER ratings for sidewalks? And we did the whole community, and we rated, and I think we only used a 1, 2, and 3. But we at least had that map that showed, you know, the red, yellow, green. Has that been looked at all? You know,
Nah,
is
I
it
don't
a possibility?
think-
I mean, to
think,
answer the question.
Yeah, I don't think that was done to that level in Munising.
I mean, that might answer the question where you can quickly see, like red needs to be replaced, right? So you quickly can see on a map, these areas are high priority. Or yellow, which is, you better address it in the next 5 years or so.
It would also help us prioritize these projects.
It is.
The priority's gotta be somewhat flexible because, you know, you might get grant funding for one project which is not eligible for a higher priority project, and you hate to lose that funding.
And then the other thing is that when you do that, you put it in the system, then you can get a percentage of how many bad sidewalks you have and how many good sidewalks you have. And you can quickly see, like, at the planning commission level, I mean, we can look at it and say, okay, you mentioned, that was a good point, mentioning paths. I mean, well, what else? I mean, where's your mobility routes? Where are people actually coming from to hit these businesses, mostly businesses? You know, and so then you can kind of see those routes. It's not just, I mean, you do it for safe routes because you've got the school, but there are other routes for businesses that might be a good idea to try and hit. I mean, I don't want to hold this up, but maybe as an addendum, maybe that's something at the planning commission level, wait, let's take and have that conversation.
Yeah, there's a heck of a lot of good information,
Oh,
and good stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
But yeah,
I mean, we can always,
And I like how the MBTN section is separate,
yeah.
because they were evolved on their own,
Right.
with our assistance and cooperation. No action?
No action,
No
just
action.
discussion only, if anybody has anything else?
Well, it's almost 6:30, my bedtime.
Okay. All right, thanks, Kevin.
Yeah, thanks.
Item E, public comment, anything? All right, item F, entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
Sport?
Moved by Commissioner Justardens, supported by Commissioner Wilkinson to adjourn. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. We are adjourned.